All right, welcome to the explainer. Let's jump right in. What if I told you there's this whole other economy out there, just buzzing with opportunity that most of us have been completely ignoring? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain.
Yeah, just think about that for a second. An entire system packed with potential, but it's been, well, invisible to most of us. So we're going to go on a little journey here to map it all out. And you can think of this explainer as your personal guide.
That's right, we're basically going to be your personal co-pilot. Our job? To break down all the essentials, cut through the confusing jargon, and hand you the actual tools you need to start navigating this new financial world.
Okay, first things first, let's get into the why. Why is this whole invisible economy thing, the one powered by crypto, such a huge deal? Why is it being called a revolution, especially in places like Africa, where it's already making some serious waves?
And this really gets to the heart of it all. You've got the old system over here, traditional banking, which can be super slow, kind of clunky, and honestly, not built for everyone. But then you have the promise of crypto. We're talking about real financial inclusion, transfers that are way faster and cheaper, and brand new ways for everyday people to invest and build wealth. So you're probably wondering, okay, that sounds great, but how does it actually work? Let's dive into the technology that makes it all tick. And don't worry, I promise we're not going to get bogged down in a bunch of complex code. We're just going to look at the magic, so to speak, that makes it all possible, right? At the very heart of all crypto is something called the blockchain. And the absolute best way to think about it is like a giant shared digital notebook. Every single transaction gets written down as a new entry. But here's the key. Once that entry is written down and everyone on the network agrees it's legit, that page is locked in. For good. You can't change it, you can't fake it, you can't tear it out. That's the secret sauce that makes it so transparent and incredibly secure.
And this whole thing really stands on three big pillars. First up is decentralization. This is huge. It means no single bank, no government is in control. The power is actually in the hands of the users. Second, you've got validation. The network itself, all the users, are the ones who secure and confirm transactions. And third, something called smart contracts. Just think of them as agreements that run themselves automatically when certain things happen. No need for a middleman. This is what really opens the door to this whole world of decentralized finance.
Okay, so that's the big picture, the how it works part. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about what you actually need. In this next part, we're going to build your personal investor toolkit. We'll gear you up with everything you need to actually get started on this journey. So your very first stop is going to be what's called an exchange. The easiest way to think of it, it's like the stock market, but for crypto. It's the online marketplace where you'll go to set up an account, prove you are who you say you are, and, most importantly, turn your regular money into crypto. All right, so once you buy some crypto, you need a safe place to keep it, right? This is where wallets come in. And you've got two main kinds. Hot wallets are always connected to the internet. They're super convenient for making small, frequent trades. But for your serious long-term investments, the stuff you don't want to touch, a cold wallet, which is a physical device you keep offline, is the absolute gold standard for security. It's like a digital vault. And this brings me to maybe the single most important thing I'm going to say today. You absolutely must protect your seed phrase. This string of words is the master key to everything. I'm not kidding. If you lose it, your funds are gone. Forever. No customer support to call. If someone else gets their hands on it, your funds are gone. Forever. So please write it down, store it somewhere safe and offline, and never, ever share it with anyone. To really feel at home in the crypto world, you kind of got to learn the lingo. You'll hear people yelling HODL online. That just means they're holding on to their investment for the long haul. You're definitely going to feel FOMO at some point. That's the fear of missing out on a big price jump. You'll need to learn to tune out the FUD. That's all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that trolls love to spread. And of course, you'll get to know the market cycles. The bull markets when prices are soaring, and the bear markets when things are down. All right, you've got the tools, you're starting to speak the language. Now let's talk strategy. And let me be clear, we are not talking about gambling here. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes. This is about building real, sustainable wealth through disciplined, long-term thinking. And honestly, your secret weapon for this is a strategy called dollar cost averaging, or DCA for short. It's incredibly simple, but so powerful. All it means is you invest a fixed amount of money, maybe it's $20, maybe it's $100, at regular intervals, like every week or every month, and you do it no matter what the price is doing. The key is just being consistent. Now, here's the magic of DCA. When the price is high, your $50 buys you a little bit of crypto. But when the price dips, that same $50 buys you way more. See what happens? Over time, it all averages out.
It smooths out the bombs, and maybe best of all, it takes away all that stress and anxiety of trying to guess the perfect moment to buy. You just don't have to worry about it.
But look, let's be real. Every adventure has its dragons, right? And investing is no different. To be a smart, successful investor, you have to know what the risks are and how to handle them. So let's face them head on.
Rule number 1, you have to acknowledge the volatility. Crypto prices can go on some wild swings. It really is like a financial roller coaster, and you just have to accept that fact going in. If you can keep your eyes on the long-term prize, you won't be tempted to panic and sell every time the coaster takes a dip.
And of course, wherever there's money to be made, you're going to find scams. You got to be on high alert. Watch out for things like pump and dump schemes. Be super skeptical of any project that promises guaranteed high returns. And for sure, be careful with phishing attacks trying to get your login info, or those random DMs from so-called experts offering you hot tips. It all comes down to one golden rule, and it's super simple. Trust your gut. If it smells like a scam, it is probably a scam. If something feels way too good to be true, guess what? It is. Just turn around and walk away. Okay, so you've invested smartly, you've learned to spot the risks. So what's the end game? What's the final step? Well, let's talk about how you actually bring those gains home, how you turn those digital numbers on a screen into real-world value.
When you're ready, it's actually a pretty straightforward two-step process. Step 1, you go back to the exchange where you bought the crypto and you sell it, converting it back into your local currency. Step 2, you simply transfer that money securely from the exchange right into your own bank account or mobile money service. Just, always double-check things like fees before you hit send.
But, the smartest play isn't always to just cash everything out and spend it. For real long-term stability, the pros re-diversify. What does that mean? It means you take some of those profits you made in crypto and you move them into more stable traditional things, like local stocks or maybe even real estate. This way, you're locking in your gains and building a portfolio that's way more balanced and resilient to shocks.
So when you pull it all together, what does success look like? It's really built on these 5 pillars. First, always keep learning. Second, be disciplined with your investing. Remember DCA. Third, diversify smartly. Fourth, always manage your risk. And fifth, have a plan for when and how to take some of those profits off the table. That's the formula. Look, you've got the map now. You have the foundational knowledge. You've got the tools. You've got the strategies. The keys to this once invisible economy, they are literally in your hands. So I'll leave you with this one question. How are you going to make it shine?